Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chop and Slice. I'm one of the co-hosts, Michael, and this is
Brandon.
We are here to review Terrifier 2016. The new movie just released, so we want to get this review done and give our thoughts on it. And I'm sure we will be watching the second one coming up here pretty soon. So we're going to break down the scenes, get into what we like, what we didn't like, and give our ratings and whether you should watch this movie or not. So, the opening scene, we see a static TV, and, you see a guy walking around and stuff like that in the background. So the TV appears, we see a news, like a news
reporter or something.
News report, a late night show, a woman talking with the sole survivor of the murders.
Her face is all fucked up.
Yeah, the survivor's face is all messed up. This was news about what happened at last year, murders, on Halloween and stuff like that.
Right.
Then you see this figure, we don't know who he is at this point, walk around, and he kicks the TV.
He smashes it with his foot.
And then we start to see this dude get on clown paint, get his weapons ready. Very reminiscent of...
Getting ready to go on a murdering spree.
Yep, pretty reminiscent of Nightmare on Elm Street, but they were probably going for an homage there. Then we see, the news reporter lady. She's talking to this guy on the phone, I'm assuming her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's talking crap about the one girl. If I ever look like that, save me the trouble and just kill me off, pretty much.
But then she starts to hear a strange noise coming from her wardrobe.
Yeah.
And she gets up to.
They did the whole who's behind the closet trope, which I thought was cool. Then we later see her walk over, and then bang, out of nowhere. The chick with the
fucked up face. She
starts gouging out her eyes to make her look like her, which was cool. That was kind of foreshadowed. And then the next scene, we skip over to a few ladies walking down the street in Halloween costumes. That's how you know.
So I'm assuming it's Halloween.
Yeah, it's Halloween. So, they're pretty drunk. I'm assuming they came back from a party, Halloween party, looking pretty fly. Two very attractive women.
Very hot.
Attractive, yeah. Then later we see Art the Clown. That's his name. That is the guy who's doing all the makeup. Walking with trash bags. We don't know what's in the trash bags.
I think we do, but
we have ideas at that point. The girls notice the clown, and
seem a little spooked. Well, no, they start talking shit to the motherfucker.
Yeah.
They start saying some shit. I can't remember exactly what they were saying, but they were basically talking shit. Kind of like how they did in with Halloween.
Just laughing at him pretty much and not taking him serious. He's a clown. Next we see them going to this pizzeria. Next thing you know, the clown shows up. Art the Clown. He walks into the diner, sits at the table from across the girls, and then at this point, you don't know what his goal is. Is he there to?
He's just basically sitting there being kind of creepy. The brunette is really the one that's noticing him. Where she's sitting there and
Tara. Yep.
Right, Tara. She's sitting there and noticing the clown, and he's just kind of smiling at her, making all these weird faces. But her friend
Dawn's too busy over on
fucking around on her phone and shit. So
she ain't taking him serious.
But then she goes over and does a selfie with him.
Yeah, and she's like, "You already have 8 likes." That was pretty stupid. So basically, after that,
he starts doing some more weird shit. Then he goes to the gumball machine and
pulls out a ring.
Pulls out a ring and then like drops to one knee and puts it on her. It was kind of weird, and she seemed pretty spooky. But her stupid blonde friend Dawn was just like, "Oh my god, that's the sweetest thing." Yeah, right.
Take it. Then next thing you know, Art like walks out, but then he like comes back and gets kicked out.
Right, he goes in the bathroom.
He goes in the bathroom and then he gets kicked out.
Mm-hmm. But we don't know why. It kind of cuts to some scenes with the girls again. But then later on, you see that he just smeared shit all over the walls with writing his name.
Pretty much. Pretty disgusting.
Now you can see why he got kicked out.
And at this point in the movie, I'm feeling like, I don't know what's going on. You know, I don't know where they're going. Obviously, we know that the guy's the killer. But we don't know where it's going at this point. Just super creepy. So basically, after that, he kills the owner of the pizzeria that kicked him out. He goes back into the pizzeria. It's off screen, but you do see his head with, like, these candles. And, like, fire shooting out of his head. It was pretty cool. His eyes were gouged out and all that. And then he kills one of the other workers there, stabs him in the head, and just
pretty gruesome. Him. Yeah, pretty gruesome shit.
Then we see the girls. I assume that their car won't start, right? So
right. Well, the tires were deflated.
Right, the tires get deflated, so then they have to call her sister Victoria over to the scene to come pick them up and take them home.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, we see them outside an abandoned apartment hotel, and then we see this janitor, maintenance guy. His name is Mike. Basically, Tara's like, I gotta take a piss. Go ask this creepy dude standing outside smoking a cigarette on his break, and she does, and Dawn's like, don't go do it, and Tara's like, nah, I'm gonna go do it. She goes and does it, and then the dude's like, I can't let you in there
because he can get in trouble.
He can get in trouble or whatever, but he gives in, and he takes her over to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And that bathroom
is a shithole. Pretty bad. Yeah. So she seems like she doesn't want to use it, but she really has to go. So she just kind of goes around. She asks about rats. Just kind of whatever. But at one point she encounters this woman holding a baby doll. Right?
Yeah. And that was apparently the homeless lady was like, that's her daughter, Emily. Her daughter, Emily. And then, after that, we see Art get into the car with Dawn out of nowhere.
All this blood. At this point, Dawn is freaked out because then she screams, but then it kind of goes back to,
Tara.
Tara, right.
She goes back up to the exit way where she came in from, and then that's where we see Art standing there smiling at her. Mm-hmm. She starts to run. She gets into the parking lot. She's hiding behind this car. Then we see Art looking around like a freaking creep, smiling.
Right, she's kind of ducked down in between the cars and looking to see where his feet are as he's searching around. And then eventually he appears behind her, starts stabbing the shit out of her leg. And then she gets away, but then gets down on top of her and starts choking the shit out of her. And then I think stabs him with a scalpel, I think is what happened.
In the head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, it was in the armpit. She stabbed him in the armpit.
Yeah, but then she actually also stabbed him somewhere in the head, too.
Okay, so yeah, then she runs away.
Then again, she's like hiding against this like behind this barricade or whatever. Then we see Art like looming around, looking like a creep. But after that, she like gets up. You hear her scream, and then he snatches her and drugs her, and then she wakes up in this chair. And at this point,
what do you think about the movie?
This point where I look at the movie is like kind of sucks, in my opinion. It is B rated, but there's not a whole lot going on. We don't know anything, which is okay. But at this point in the movie, there's just nothing going on. There's no context. You don't know anything about this guy, which is fine. You really don't learn anything about him, but I don't mind it so far. But nothing too crazy at this point. But at this point in the movie, it starts to pick up dramatically.
I don't know. I mean, I think that this movie was pretty fast-paced from the get-go. I mean, we see Art, like, right away and already start making moves with, making the weapons and then encountering these two girls right away and then already completely massacring the guy that works at the diner, already kidnapped two girls. I mean, this movie is already very fast-paced at this point. So I was already very intrigued right away. I mean, overall, I mean...
I've seen so many clowns in so many horror films, so at this point I'm just like all clowned out,
I guess.
Stop clowning around, Then at that point, she wakes up. She's tied to a chair. She's screaming. She's got the whole tape covered around her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
We see this like
these drapes. Mm-hmm. Well, first he starts teasing her with some of the weapons. He's pulling weapons out of the thing, and then he's like pretending like he's gonna whack her with the hammer, and like just totally just
pretty sadistic.
Oh yeah,
he's just teasing her. But then comes probably the most epic scene in...
Oh god.
Yeah, one of the most epic kills in horror history.
Pulls the drapes down.
Then we see her friend Dawn hung upside down.
And he goes and he rips the black panties off and just proceeds to just saw from the crotch all the way down to the head.
Yeah, and it's super brutal.
How did that scene make you feel when you saw that?
The first time I've ever... Because this is the second time seeing this movie. I knew I had to look away because that kill is just brutal. But the first time I saw it, it's pretty shocking, pretty terrifying. No pun intended.
I know when I first saw that scene back in 2016, my face was just... I mean, you weren't there, but my face was just pale white, dude. Like, I looked like I'd seen a ghost. I had never seen any shit like that in any movie.
Yeah, it was sickening.
Oh, that was the gnarliest shit I've ever seen.
And it didn't stop. He just kept going.
Yeah, it was just very, like...
It felt like it goes on for, like, 5 minutes. I mean, it is pretty sadistic.
That was awesome.
Pretty brutal. Yeah, you enjoyed that. I didn't enjoy that as much. Pretty scary kill there. Then we see Tara. She starts to escape. She basically starts to actually whoop his ass a little bit. And then this clown, it's such a cheap way to do it. He pulls out a gun and shoots her in the leg. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, they're fighting around, and he gets her, or she gets him down, and then right when she's about to hit him with the 2x4, I think she had. Yeah, he pulls out the gun and shoots her in the ankle.
Yeah, and at that point,
that was kind of pussy shit.
It kind of took me out of it because I'm like, I don't want to see my slashers using guns and shit. That kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. I didn't like that.
I still think Ghostface is a gun user though.
Only when he unmasks. Anyway, we see Victoria show up at the abandoned apartment. She is the sister of Tara, like we mentioned. And then at this point, we see who I thought potentially when I first saw this movie was going to be the final girl.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, I thought she was going to be the final girl, but I guess not.
We see Art shoot her in the head multiple
times. Just bang, 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 bang.
Bang, 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 bang. And then, yeah, that was pretty sickening. Then after that, we see the homeless lady walk into the picture. Mm-hmm. And she sees what Art just did, and she's freaking out. She runs to go get help to Mike, the maintenance guy. At this point, we see the janitor walk away to go get help. Then he confronts Art, and Art smacks him over the head with a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
He's not dead. He does come back. He does make a return. Then after that, we see Art rocking the baby doll. The homeless lady really believes that is an actual baby, which is she's just weird.
Weird shit.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand that scene, but okay.
Yeah. She ends up getting iced. Then we see Victoria in the apartment trying to call Tara. And here's her phone ring. And then later she walks in and finds her sister split in half. Or her sister's friends split in half.
How traumatizing do you think that would be?
Pretty scary.
I mean, I couldn't imagine. Like, that's just... Whew.
Then her sister she finds her sister skinned alive. Just pretty brutal.
Not fully, though. Just the top part. And then he kind of does the Buffalo Bill thing where he's walking out and women's breasts, you know.
Yeah, that's disgusting. He's wearing that homeless woman's
just the
breast.
Top part, though.
Just the top, yeah. Then later we see this new douchebag maintenance guy. I don't even know if they give him a name. He's like calling out to Mike. He's outside in the van. Then he walks in. He gets iced pretty quickly. He gets his head sliced off with a knife by Art, and you see the whole thing. It's pretty brutal. He just keeps cutting. Kind of reminds me of Halloween 2 Rob Zombies. Just keeps slicing his throat, and then rips his head off, holds it up.
Yeah, that was fucking badass, dude. That was fucking awesome.
I think he even kicks his head.
Yeah, he did.
He just kicks it out
of the way.
That
was the sickest shit, man. Just sawing all the way through that. That was awesome.
Then we see, Victoria. She was like hiding in this locker. She walks out of the building. She sees Art riding around on a little cycle. He's rolling around on it, smiling, honking the little horn.
Was that Victoria?
Yeah, that was Victoria.
The sister.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. And then Art runs at her, starts suffocating Victoria with shrink wrap. She somehow manages to escape, stabs Art in the foot with a nail. Yeah, with a nail. A big ass nail. Victoria finds her sister with a circus sign later. Art whips her with a bunch of knives. And then Mike reappears, the one maintenance guy.
And just does this, just shoves him to the ground. That totally fucked him up.
Shoves him to the ground. He calls the police, and then him and Victoria search for an exit. And then they can't get an exit. I think there's he starts calling the police, and the police kept asking him stupid questions are you hurt, or is she conscious, or what? Just send over a unit. He just keeps yelling, send over a unit. So I don't know what's going on at that point. And then we see Art appear behind him, smashes his head with a propane tank, and then stomps his face in. And you see all of it. Brains.
That's pretty sickening.
Brains, blood, everywhere. Pretty sickening. Then Victoria stabs Art in the face. Art runs over Victoria somehow. And then he starts eating her face.
Yeah. pretty gruesome stuff. And then that's when the cops
He starts eating her eyes and stuff, and just all over her face. Then we see the cops come out. The two douchebag policemen.
That don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, took their sweet ass time getting there. Put your hands up. And then you just keep seeing
He raises the one hand.
Raises the one, but won't stop him from, raise your right arm. They kept shouting this for about an hour. And then he turns around and sticks the barrel in his own mouth, Art's mouth, pulls the trigger, bang. Not Art.
And we think he's dead anyway.
Yeah. We assume he's dead. I mean, anybody that gets shot in the head. Because at this point, you don't know if Art is supernatural or human. Because in the beginning, when you see him just putting on the clown paint, it's a normal guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just your average white dude. Looks like an older folk. But you don't know what he is. You don't know if he's supernatural. You don't know if he can heal, self-heal. If he's a demon, whatever he is, we don't know at this point. And they don't ever reveal it in Terrifier. And that's why they made a second one. We'll see how that one turns out. We'll see if they give us any answers in that. What he is at this, they don't leave us with an answer.
So then we get to the autopsy.
Yep, they bring in all the dead bodies. And honestly, this kind of reminded me of Halloween Resurrection. He zips down the bag. Art is smiling. So I think he's alive at this point when you see his face. And then it just pops up. And then we see all the electrical problems and stuff going on in the office or wherever, the autopsy room. And then Art starts choking the doctor, whatever his professional job title is. And then bang, end credits. So it ends on somewhat of a cliffhanger. Obviously, Art is not dead, but we do later find out that Victoria is the woman at the beginning of the movie, where she is the woman being interviewed.
Right.
So that basically is a prequel. All the events in this movie is a prequel to what happened in the beginning of the movie when we see the
that was kind of cool how
the
they
late
did
night
that.
show. That was cool. So those events took place a year prior to what we see in the beginning. So we do know Art is alive. He kicks around that TV, so obviously he survived those events. And then, we see him choke out the autopsy dude. And that leaves it at that. So, Terrifier. I mean, brutal kills. Probably the most brutal kills. It's a gore fest. I don't know if it's the most brutal in history.
I don't think so.
The one kill.
The one kill, yeah, but
I don't think I've seen a sicker kill than that. I mean, all of Saw, Hostel.
I mean, there are a lot of brutal shit in there too, but
the blood, kind of looks cheesy and
it looks comical for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely store-bought blood. It's not. It doesn't look very real, but it's still vicious to even think about.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, this movie was something for sure. I personally I loved this movie. It was pretty good. I really have a lot of respect for the director Damien
Leone.
Yeah.
I
appreciate what he's trying to do. I'm sorry, Michael.
Had a budget of only $35,000. I believe it was crowdfunded, because Art did make an appearance in Hallows' Eve.
That's not bad for $35,000.
No, and it has a good cult following. He did make an appearance in All Hallow Eve, which is pretty good.
I think that's his first appearance.
His first appearance, so this was kind of like he had like a little cult following from that movie, so Damien Leone was like, let's make a new one. Let's make him his own movie. So
that's what they did, and I thought they did a pretty good job. overall, especially with how much of a low budget this movie was. I mean, not bad.
Yeah, so it looks like, they filmed it in 2016. The official release date was March of 2018, so that's why I figured, I probably saw it when it came out, and then it's been a while since I saw it again, so...
Yeah, it's been a while for me, too. I had to go back and rewatch this movie.
The first time I've seen it, it definitely stuck with me, and kills are brutal. And, I don't put them up there with any of the OG slashers, but, I mean...
It's good for modern day, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like David Howard Thornton, the guy who played Art the Clown, did really good. He plays that character pretty perfect to the way they want him played. Yeah, it was okay. Not my favorite, not my worst. I don't know. So we can get to the ratings, discuss some of the ratings, and yeah.
What do you give this movie, Michael?
Officially, I would probably give this movie a respectable 4 of 10.
4 of 10.
4 of 10, because it didn't have much story to it. The kills, it was just interesting to see what he would do next, I guess. And it, it kind of threw me off with who the final girl would be. And I did like how they called back to Victoria. We didn't know what that scene was, and I thought that was interesting how they, came back with the year prior and got her onto the news channel. I thought that was interesting, and I thought, it has a good little cult following, and I do see why people like Art the Clown. He is kind of goofy, and I don't know. I can see why people like him. Let me know, Brandon, what you think of it.
I'm gonna give this movie a 7.5. Love this movie. I love the grindhouse type movies. I love movies with a lot of blood in it, and this movie just had it. This movie didn't waste any time getting going. I love Art the Clown as a character. He's got so much character to him. I mean, there's just so much to love about this guy, and I truly think that Art the Clown has a lot more to offer going forward.
I would almost like to see him talk. I don't know if that would be weird, but he kind of is like a mime. He does kind of look like a mime, too, like a mime clown.
I don't know how I'd feel about him talking, like...
He's goofy. I think he could be like a Freddy, kind of like goofy character. I don't know.
I think, now that we've gotten to know him for the way he is, I don't think I'd want to see him talk.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he'll talk in the second. Who knows? We have yet to see that one, so you don't know.
Right. I mean, to me, this movie was just... It was awesome. It had some of the most brutal kills I've ever seen. Not the most, well, you had that one, but...
That probably is...
I mean, that almost kind of traumatized me, but...
Yeah.
And I did like the whole thing thing you said you didn't like, where you thought it was going to be the final girl. I kind of like how it kind of shifts, to...
Well, I do like that.
I thought you said you didn't like it.
No, I did like the twist.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was a great little twist. I like the whole prequel thing with Victoria thing that they did. I mean, I thought this was just...
I do like the costume when he has blood all over him. That's kind of a cool visual.
Yeah, and this movie was very visual. That's for damn sure.
Definitely a B rated, but hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, Halloween, I think, started off.
It's okay B-rated. If they don't have a big budget. Now look at what they're at. They're playing Terrifier 2 in all the theaters, so... They, definitely respect what this movie did. Mm-hmm. So that does give it a official chop and slice rating of 11.5 out of 20. But
11.5.
What are you looking for in Terrifier 2? What do you want to see, Brandon?
I want to see more of this character, Art, and just doing what Art does, I just want to see a total bloodfest, which is what I hear this movie is. I hear like people are just vomiting and passing out and shit.
Yeah,
and I want to see. I mean, it's hard to get me on a lot of this stuff, and
I think people are a little overhyping it, but we'll see. Maybe they're not. But what I'd like to see a little more story, a little more background on Art the Clown.
I want to see more blood, baby. More blood. That's what I like.
I'm more into the suspense and storytelling, but we'll see where they go with it. Hopefully, I mean, like I said, the first one's not the greatest movie I've ever seen, but I definitely do respect how they handled it, and it was okay. It was some aspects for a budget like that and for a vision Damien Leone had. Pretty impressive film.
Fantastic movie. Way to go, Damien. Very good. Great movie.
It was alright. Alright, guys. That is going to leave us today with our review on Terrifier.
Beware of clowns, I guess.
2016. That's when it was filmed and produced, but it got delayed for some reason. I don't remember why, but did get released in 2018. So, we do appreciate everybody. Thank you for being a part of the Chop and Slice family. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
Peace. Don't be terrified.